What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are reviewing Elimination Chamber / No Way Out 2026. We're going to show with the Women's Elimination Chamber match between Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Kiana James. Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton opened the match. They had a really nice back and forth, and someone went into a pod. They didn't go through it, but Tiffany Stratton did like her flip thing that she normally does to the corner. She did it to a pod. Kiana James moved out of the way, and Tiffany went right into the pod. It made a huge sound. That had to hurt. But yeah, they had a really nice back and forth. I loved it. But then the third person came in, and that was Asuka. Kiana James immediately went after her. Asuka couldn't even get out of her pod yet. And that was a really cool, because Asuka, she don't play games. And stupidly, Tiffany Stratton got involved and took out Kiana James, even though she was in the middle of taking out Asuka. So Asuka took out Tiffany and Kiana and sent them both, she slammed their head into the pod, both of them. So that was stupid on Tiffany's part. I believe Alexa Bliss, who was wearing a similar attire to that, came in next. She had some pretty interesting interactions, but nothing too big. Until Rhea came in. Kiana tried to do the same thing she did to Asuka to Rhea, and it didn't work out in her favor. Rhea took her out immediately with a huge big boot. And Alexa Bliss jumped off a pod onto Asuka, Rhea, and Tiffany, because Kiana was smart enough to walk away. And then they were in the ring. Asuka was she was kind of towards the side, where she is now, and Alexa Bliss was about to hit Kiana with a Sister Abigail, but Asuka sprayed her with the mist. Kiana rolled her up. Alexa Bliss was out of there, and then Raquel came in. She was clearing house. She sent Kiana James through, because one door was open for a pod. So she brought her into the pod through the other door, and they were both just lying on the floor for a while. He hit a Tahana bomb to Asuka onto Kiana James, eliminating them both simultaneously. Then Rhea, Tiffany, and Raquel were trading blows. They were kind of going in a circle until Rhea rolled out, and then it was just Tiffany and Raquel, who eventually led to this corner. Rhea from the pod jumped on to Raquel, taking her out, and then Tiffany Stratton hit her with the prettiest moonsault ever, and she was out of here. And then it was down to Rhea and Tiffany, who had a wonderful back and forth. Rhea was about to hit a razor's edge. It got blocked. Tiffany was about to win. Rhea kicked out. The typical back and forth stuff. It was nice and interesting. But in the end, Rhea Ripley hit her with a Riptide to win the chamber. And she will face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42. Jumping into the next match, it was Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This match was nice, back and forth, and they both tried to go after each other's arms early, which I don't know if this is what they meant to do, but both of their finishers involved the arm. Maybe they were kind of hinting towards it. Michael Cole didn't really, or Wade, they didn't really ease into that. But also, Michael Cole called AJ Lee AJ Styles, so just one time. It's alright. But then he made fun of Mark Nash for accidentally calling Javon Evans Javon Williams, so he can't really be talking. But No, they were both going back and forth. Tornado DDT, Shining Wizard, both by AJ Lee. This is one of her best matches since she returned. It was a really cool match. I believe one of them went to the outside and then came back in just to get away. But it was nice back and forth. Becky took off the turnbuckle. Jessica Carr accidentally got stunned, just temporarily. But then Becky kicked her in the head because she went to kick AJ. AJ ducked. So then she kicked Jessica in the head. She was out for a while. So Becky grabbed a chair, went to use it on AJ Lee. I don't think it worked the first time. But AJ instead made her tap out. But obviously the ref didn't see it. So it wasn't ruled as over, so they had to keep going. Becky hit a DDT onto AJ Lee, onto the chair, got rid of the evidence, hit a manhandle slam, 1, 2, and she kicked out. Then AJ Lee was by the turnbuckle. Becky ran after, backtrack. Becky tried to send AJ into the turnbuckle. The ref got in the way, told her not to do it. So AJ rolled her up. 1, 2. Becky kicks out. Becky went to run after AJ Lee, who was by the corner. She moved out of the way. Becky went into the turnbuckle. She got stuck in a Black Widow, and she had to tap out. And we have a new women's Intercontinental Champion, and her name is AJ Lee. Jumping to the next match, it was CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship and also the right to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in the main event of Night 2. Man, this was a good match. Hold on. Before I get into the match, I do want to say CM Punk got a special entrance. He was backstage. They were filming his locker room, the outside of his locker room. You hear some music. It's not his. I forgot what that type of music is called, but it was when they put the chamber down or steel cage. Like that thing. And he was getting introduced by, I forgot who's name. I think Greg Clay or something like that. He was coming down. Then he stopped around gorilla position. And then his theme song hit. He came out. He had such a good entrance. Finn Balor still keeping it up with his old theme song, his old entrance, his old Balor Club, Titantron. You love to see it. And now we talk about this match. Finn Balor and CM Punk had a phenomenal match with, I didn't know this, but CM Punk had bad ribs. That's what they were playing into. And Finn Balor, he knew he was going after the bad ribs. And he kept going and going and going and going. Beating him up. He had him on the corner, kind of like the 10 beats of the veteran, but going after the ribs. Then there was a really cool spot. They did a super suplex. Punk hit a GTS on Balor. Balor rolled out of the ring. Punk went out of the ring because he didn't want to end the match on a count out. He wanted the winner to win clean. And so he went to the outside. Balor hit a drop kick to Punk into the barricade. They got into the ring. Then there was this really cool spot where Finn Balor jumped off the top rope. Punk had his leg out. And he caught him with a sharpshooter. That was insane. That was my favorite spot of the match. It was such a clean spot. I loved it. And Balor, he was even looking outside, and he was like, it's almost like he was anticipating the Judgment Day, but no one came out, which is what he wanted. He said, don't come out. So I don't know how they're going to play that out, but however they do, they'll find a way. It'll probably be like Balor, like, why didn't you guys help me out? And the Judgment Day's like, because you told us not to. Something stupid like that. But in the end, CM Punk hit a GTS on Finn Balor and pinned him 1, 2, and 3. And still, your World Heavyweight Champion. Balor was a little disappointed, but he shook Punk's hand. He was actually the one to extend his hand to CM Punk. And before we get into the main event, it was time for the crate where Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis opened it with a crowbar, and it was a casket. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis looked at each other. They pointed, like, yeah, let's get out of here. They both went separate. They both went their respective ways. And then, after a while, the casket opens, and music hits. Woman dressed up as Danhausen come out, and then Danhausen comes out. He does a full entrance. He starts walking around the ring. He gave Michael Cole a jar of teeth, and then he got into the ring, posed. Then, boom, fireworks went off, or pyro went off. The ladies dropped to the floor. The lights went off. Then when the lights came back on, they were all gone. And Danhausen, I personally love Danhausen, but the crowd didn't like him very much. But to me, I feel like the people that hate him either had their hopes up too high and thought it was Jericho, which would have been the stupid way for Jericho to return in a crate. That would have been stupid. They think Danhausen is just an AEW character, even though he debuted this character way before WWE was even a thing. Or the third option, they don't know who he is, so they're not going to give him a chance, which makes no sense, but whatever, because if you like Mr. Iguana, you'd like Danhausen. If you like Santino, you'd probably like Danhausen. If you like R-Truth, he's not really on the same level, but you might like Danhausen. I mean, Danhausen isn't on the same level as Truth. I don't mean Truth isn't on the same level as Danhausen. Don't try to twist my words. Yeah, let's jump into the main event. And now it is time for our main event, the men's elimination chamber between Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Trick Williams, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Javon Evans. Man, it was a pretty good match, I'll have to admit. Cody versus Javon to start off the chamber. They didn't really do much. It was just a regular back and forth for 5 minutes until I believe it was Trick Williams. Yes, it was. It was Trick Williams. Came in. He had a double choke slam. He started like taking them out. He was like acting all cocky, you know. But he also meant business. He wasn't that cocky, but you could tell in his personality, the way he wrestled, he was a little cocky, trying to keep his character. But he was mainly focused. He was locked in. He was like, okay, I got to get this done. Like, he was ready for a fight, which is a good thing. But then, I believe it was Logan Paul. It's either Logan Paul or LA Knight. Either way, they didn't do much. They just took them all out. That's why I can't really remember. But one of them came out. They didn't do much. They just took everyone out. Then the next person came in. And then I believe Logan Paul took everyone out. LA Knight came in. Then LA Knight and I believe it was Javon. Yes, it was. Grabbed Logan Paul, threw him off the pod, and then not that long after, Javon jumped onto Trick Williams off of the pod. That was insane. That was actually kind of cool. It wasn't as insane as when RVD jumped on Triple H and almost killed him. That was crazy because it was terrible. But after that, Logan Paul quickly took advantage, hit Javon Evans with a pulverizer, and eliminated Javon Evans. Javon Evans was the first man eliminated. Randy Orton came in, and he took out everyone. He power slammed Trick. Not Trick. LA Knight. He power slammed LA Knight. They were doing all this stuff. Logan Paul took advantage, eliminated Trick or LA Knight. Then Trick Williams got hit with a crossroads by Cody Rhodes, and Logan Paul took advantage of that again. Insane. And Trick Williams, he was taking his sweet time. Oh, by the way, Javon Evans landed on his head. Hope he's okay. But no, Trick took his sweet time to get out of the ring. He was still on the thing, which led to the decoy. It was the masked man. He was climbing the walls for whatever reason, but he got caught almost instantly. A bunch of security guards came out, and they took him away. Adam Pearce came out. He was like, I'm tired of this. Revealed his mask. Adam Pearce ripped off the mask. It was a decoy. Again, I wonder if it was another person who Seth Rollins trained. But even then, Trick Williams was still on the stairs, taking a long time. And then when he left the stairs, the ref was taking a long time to close it. He didn't even start to close it. And then the masked man got onto the steps. The real one this time. He walked in. He took out Logan Paul, hit him with a stomp. And, super kick, stomp. And almost left. Watched Cody eliminate Logan. And then he unmasked himself. That man was the one and only Seth freaking Rollins. And then not that long after, Seth Rollins left. And then Drew McIntyre ran in, hit Cody with the belt, taking him out. Logan left. And then Cody got hit with the belt. And Randy got Drew in the ring. He hit him with an RKO. Cody hit him with a crossroads. And then Randy hit Cody with an RKO. 1, 2, and 3. Randy Orton is the 2026 Men's Elimination Chamber winner. And he will face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 42. But I have a prediction. It's not going to be just Randy and Drew. By the way, Nick Aldis made a match because Drew cost Cody. He said that Drew and Cody will fight for the title this Friday. But I have a prediction. Cody, Drew, Randy, Fatu, and Aleister Black. Fatal 5-way WWE Championship WrestleMania. Drew, whether he wins the title or not, rematch clause, or retains the title or not, rematch clause, or he just retains the title. Cody, because he keeps getting screwed over. Fatu, because they said that Drew will have some repercussions for that, so put him in a match. Randy, because he won the chamber. And Aleister, because he beat Randy. There you have it. That is probably the true main event of Night 1. WrestleMania 42. That's going to be today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace. Subscribe or be cursed.